So, hello and welcome to the live stream about onboarding. I hope you can hear me, and I think I will start in a couple of seconds. Let's just wait a couple of seconds and then we start. So I've checked. I think everything's good to start. You should also see my screen. And yeah, welcome again to my live stream about building a remarkable onboarding experience for new employees using Office 365 tools. This stream is part of the Festive Tech calendar. So if you haven't taken on the website a lot of great contributions, blog posts, streams, videos. Just go there and take a look. And before I start with talking a little bit about onboarding, first of all, let me introduce myself. So my name is Corinna Linz. I'm working as a modern workplace design consultant, and I'm working for more than 8 years in the consulting area. My main focus is modern workplace. So I'm coming from the SharePoint world, so from the classic SharePoint on-prem, and moved more to the Microsoft 365 palette in the past years. Currently, I'm working at MSG Services. It's a consulting company in Germany. It's part of the MSG group. And when I'm not working, I'm organizing and co-organizing different community events. Some of them are the Microsoft Collaboration Meetup Munich and Change and Adoption Forum. These two meetups are currently online, but in German. And I'm also co-organizer for the Collab Days Munich. This year we had Collab Days Winter Across the Alps because we done it together with Vienna, but normally it's in Munich and in English. And when I'm not doing any Microsoft 365 stuff, I'm outside for paragliding if the weather is good. I've started also a blog a couple of months ago, so you can find my website on corinnalinz.com. If you have any questions during the live stream, please use the chat to ask your questions so I can come later back on your questions. I've prepared some slides for today, and I've also prepared a demo. The onboarding session, I'm also doing it as a session at different conferences. It's a little bit longer, so I just shortened the session for the live stream to give you some insights and recommendations how you can implement an onboarding process in your company. So I will not focus too much on slides, but let me just tell you a little bit about today's topic. So Corinna, that's me. I'm joining a new company named WeMe. So the goal of the company is to onboard and integrate me as fast as possible. The company also needs to give me orientation, what's happening in the company, and they want to assign me some tasks as a new employee. And I will show you all these things with a demo with Microsoft 365 out of the box apps and applications. So let's take a short look on the definition of onboarding. So the most important thing is to remember that onboarding in a company is the systematic introduction of new colleagues to his or her area of work in the new company. So that's the most important thing you have to remember. So, but why we need onboarding in a company? Let's just take a short look. So sometimes the challenges are underestimated when we join a new company. And if you think about we always have repeating tasks. So every new employee needs to do the same task, to visit a training, to do some paper stuff and things like this. So the tasks are always the same. There is a new environment for the new employees. So the things are different than in the old company. Yeah, different processes, new processes, different tools, and all these things sometimes are really underestimated, because if you're already working in a company, it's normal for you that you're using Microsoft 365, you're using SAP for some other finance stuff and the tools you have. But if a new employee is coming in your company, maybe he even don't know how to work with these tools. So that's why it's very important. Okay. One more thing I want to talk about is, why is onboarding so important? So first of all, productivity. The faster the employee is integrated, the faster he can start working productive. Yeah. And another thing is also motivation, because if you onboard properly your employees, they will appreciate it, and they will be motivated to work in this company. And you can learn from mistakes of others. So sometimes if we go into an extreme, a single mistake can paralyze an entire company. Example, IT security. Probably we will not go so far, but why not learning from mistakes from the past? Another thing is, we have a specialist bottleneck. I think a lot of you know that that it's not easy to get good people in a company, to get specialists, and that's why we need to keep them. And of course, on the other side, we also want to reduce fluctuation. Sometimes it's good to have a little bit of fluctuation, but it shouldn't be so big, because knowledge in a company is very expensive. And if we motivate our people, we show the appreciation, then we will keep them. And last but not least, our employees should be brand ambassadors. So the onboarding contributes to employer branding, and it's a process that helps you as a company, that helps. So in every way, it helps you, because just think about it. If you're working in a company you really appreciate and you're really happy, you will go to someone else, and if someone is asking you, say, "What? It's a great company. I love working there." So it's the best recommendation a company gets if the employees are happy. Okay. Now let's just take a look what means onboarding for a company. And I have here the onboarding phases, but I don't want to go into them to explain them. The idea is just to remember that when you onboard new employees, you have different phases. And generally you have 4 phases: before the first working day, on the first working day, the first weeks, and the integration. And also these phases are, from their length, are different, because a smaller company has maybe a shorter integration phase, a big company has a long integration phase. But keep the onboarding phases in mind when you implement your onboarding process. Okay, let's take a look on the onboarding process in with out-of-the-box tools. So this is just an example. I've created some demos to show you how you can implement the employee onboarding. So in my demo, which I will show you later, but before I will show you, I will also explain you what I've done there. I'm using different Microsoft 365 tools. SharePoint for creating some portals, Microsoft Teams, associated team to a SharePoint site, Power Apps to create forms, Power Automate to automate processes, Outlook to send emails to the employees, Stream to share videos, and Forms to create surveys and to get feedback from your employees. Okay, So now let me just explain the example I've created before I go into the demo. I've created two portals, an administrative portal and an employee portal. And these portals are created in a SharePoint site. And the idea is the administrative portal is for employees like HR department, IT department. And these are tasks like providing hardware, providing software, providing some access keys, providing access to different tools, or just getting an HR package, a welcome HR package. So these are administrative tasks that are important for the people that are doing all this onboarding tasks. And then I've created a second portal. It's the employee portal for the new employees that are joining a company. They need orientation, they need information, just the information how to find something and also to get some tasks. Okay, so I have created also a small whiteboard to show you better what I've done before I show you the demo. So like I said, first of all, we have the administrative portal, and this administrative portal is a SharePoint site. It's a team site, and with this team site, there is a team associated. Oh, let me use the red one. Is a team associated. And so the employees can communicate here in the team in Microsoft Teams, and the SharePoint site is the portal with different information and content. For example, let me just write here something. This SharePoint portal contains an employee list. Another thing that this portal contains is a task master list. Like I said, tasks are repeating, so everyone needs to attend the security training. Yeah? So for managing these tasks, I'm using a task master list. And for managing the employees, I'm using an employee list. And when a new employee is created in this SharePoint site, what happens? A flow is starting. So with Power Automate, I've created a flow. I will show you also later the flow because it's very easy. And this workflow now triggers different actions. For example, the workflow is writing some posts in Teams. The workflow is creating tasks in a planner. And the workflow is also creating a new entry in this list, and this is triggering another flow. Maybe it sounds complicated now, but it's not so complicated as it seems. On the other side, the employee portal contains also a SharePoint team site that is associated to a team, and another workflow, like I said, that is also doing some tasks. One more thing we have here an admin page. This admin page is just managing different administrative tasks for these two portals. Okay, now let's take a look to the demo. So like I said, here I will switch a little bit between the whiteboard and the demo. So admin page, yeah, we can see it here. So I've created an admin page, and this admin page is administrating here for both portals is just I've just added some links to go faster to the managing for managing different tasks. Okay, so now here in the administrative onboarding, now if I go on manage employees, I will have here all employees that are created. So these are the new employees, And I can create a new employee if I want. That's just what happens here. Let me go back to the whiteboard. And I've said that we have here the administrative portal and the employee portal. Let's take a look on these two portals. So the administrative portal is this one. It's just a simple team site that has different links for adding a new employee when an employee joins the company, for joining the conversation in Microsoft Teams. And it also has here a planner integrated. Of course, this planner is also available in the Planner app or in Microsoft Teams. And here, tasks are automatically created. Okay, now let's add a new employee. So let's say that this is a simple SharePoint list. The SharePoint list contains different columns that are necessary for creating a user. And as soon as the user is created, I will go also to the flow to show you. After the user is created, tasks will be assigned to HR, to IT. The user will be created in the Microsoft Azure Active Directory and added to a team. Let's do this. Last name, let's say festive calendar. And the first name is Maria. Female. Now it's on here. Let's say I will provide my email address because this will send just an email confirmation to the new employee. Oh, it's a welcome mail to say hello, welcome to the company. Then we can add a start date. We can add the manager. This is important because the manager is added in the Azure Active Directory as a manager. Let's say Marianne will be the manager and the mentor will be Marie. And now I can also add here department, birthday, primary phone address, and stuff like this. Let's say save. And what happens now? Now, in this list of employees, here is my employee, Maria. A workflow will be triggered. Let's take a look on the workflow. So here I'm in Power Automate. And I have here two active workflows for our onboarding process. First one, create new employees tasks and create admin tasks. This is the create admin tasks is the workflow that is triggered first. And as you can see here, it's already running. It started 3 seconds ago. And I will go into edit to just show you fast this workflow because it's really very easy. And I will not go into details, just to show you when a new employee is added, what we've done before, then this employee is created in the Active Directory. After that, I just need to wait a little bit because sometimes it takes a little bit longer until the user is added. And after the user is added in the Active Directory, he will be also added to a Microsoft 365 group. So with this action, licenses for Microsoft Teams, SharePoint, Power Automate will automatically be assigned to the new user. After that, I will get all available administrative tasks. So I'm having here a master list that is just using the tasks. Let me show you here. So I have here manage tasks. I have here, it's just a simple list with 3 tasks. So for every new employee, these tasks will be added. And now I will iterate through all the tasks and create them in a planner because I've said that we're using planner for managing tasks. And after that, a new entry in another list will be created. That's just for the second process. And a post in Microsoft Teams will also be fired. That's all. Let's go back and see if the workflow already ran. Not yet. It's takes sometimes a little bit. But maybe just go here in the homepage of the administrative onboarding, because I think the tasks were already created. So here I've added on this page the planner. And let's see. Okay. Yep, the tasks were already created. Here, Maria, festive calendar, create user account, provide hardware. And there is also a third task. It's here in another phase. So these are the phases I've talked at the beginning, that you have different onboarding phases. So now these tasks are already assigned to responsible people. For example, Mike Bowl is an IT employee, so he's working in the IT, and the task was assigned to Mike. So Mike now knows that he has to provide hardware for Maria. And when he is done with his task, he just needs to check the tasks. And it continues. So, for example, create user account is assigned to Marie because she's creating the accounts. And here, HR access is also assigned to Mike. You don't need to use Planner here in Teams. You can also use it here, not in SharePoint. You can also use it in Teams. So, for example, here we have the Planner integrated. This is my team administrative onboarding, and I've added also the Planner here as a tab. And here you can see all the tasks. So if we take a look in the posts, we can see also that there was created a post that a new employee has joined the company with information about Maria. So this is also done by the workflow. Now, if we take a look, I think the workflow should have run, should have finished. Okay, the workflow is succeeded. And this workflow, like I've said at the beginning, is triggering another workflow. It's the workflow for the employee onboarding. So now we've seen the administrative part, providing hardware, providing software, providing access. But we also have the other part, the employee part. The employee starts and he has no idea about anything. So of course maybe you have an intranet portal with lots of information, but also an intranet portal is too much for a new employee because first he needs some orientation. So it makes sense to have a portal where you can find the most important apps. So for example, time tracking. The new employee needs the time tracking from the first day. FAQs, it's similar. He will need some FAQs, okay, like intranet with link to the intranet, or how to print documents, how to get information about the IT support portal and stuff like this. And there is also a team for new employees, where new employees can communicate with each other. And of course, there is also someone who's moderating this team, generally someone from the HR department, and gives answers if the employees have questions. So here I've not worked with a planner, so I've worked with a simple SharePoint list. And here, as you can see, my onboarding tasks, here you can find the onboarding tasks for the new employee. So now I've created many tasks for different employees. But it doesn't make sense to work with Planner because these tasks are just assigned to the new employee, and Planner is for a group of people. But you can decide for your own if you also want to work with Planner, so you can do it. And there is also an option to do it with To-Do, so you can assign to employees tasks in To-Do. It's just the only thing that is now that you cannot do it with the out-of-the-box To-Do connectors, because the out-of-the-box To-Do connectors can only create tasks for your own. That's currently now, but you can do it with HTTP requests. And if you want to achieve that, you can do that. So this, the workflow for this process is similar to the first one. I will not go again through it, but as you can see here, 25 minutes ago, I've, let's just refresh again, because I think that's an old one. So this second workflow was triggered from the first workflow, like we can see here. So this workflow, that was our first workflow, this one, created an entry here and in a list in the employee portal. And this entry automatically created a trigger for the second workflow. You could also do it in one workflow if you want, but sometimes it also makes sense to separate them. As you can see here, this is our second workflow, onboarding, create new employee tasks. And here it also ran 4 minutes ago. This workflow is, like I said, is similar to the first one. When an account is created, I will get all available tasks from a master list for employees, iterate them, and then also have some Teams actions. So the user will be added to a team. He will be mentioned, and with a welcome message, he will get a private message in Teams, and he will get an email. Probably you don't need to make so many notifications, but these are different options how to notify the new employee. So these two workflows are really very simple and manageable. So you don't need to have to be a SharePoint or Power Automate expert, and maybe you also don't need to implement them. But I think the main idea to remember is that it's easy to implement, and the bigger task is to implement the process and to think what happens when, just the process itself and not the implementation. I will go back to the slides because I still have 2 slides at the end. First of all, you can extend this process. This is just a basic implementation of the onboarding process with Microsoft 365, but you can extend it, for example, by using Azure Automation. You can configure and automate operational tasks like creating user, assigning policies, granting access. You can create users also with Power Automate connectors, but sometimes Azure Automation in more complex use cases makes sense. Then you have the SharePoint framework. You can develop your own web parts. You can provide them in Microsoft Teams and in SharePoint. You have Power Apps where you can create complex list forms. And you can also connect with data from external platforms if you want, for example, with data from an SAP system. So you have different options to do that. You can also implement the whole process with logic apps if you want. It's different. I think it's not basic Microsoft 365 knowledge, but it's more stable if you work with logic apps. A short recap. So, like I said at the beginning, you shouldn't underestimate the onboarding process in a company because it's really, really important. The onboarding process I've showed you today is just one process, one use case that uses a lot of tools from the Microsoft 365 ecosystem. So you have so many options to implement your solutions and your processes. And like I've also said before, it's much more difficult to design good processes and complex than to implement them, because the implementation, if you know what you want, the implementation is easy. So yeah, just think about it. Maybe in 2021, you want to start, with implementing a new process like the onboarding process in your company, and get the best out of the power of Microsoft 365. Yeah, so I've seen that there are no questions in the chat. If you still have any questions, ask them in the chat, and I can also come later back on them. So thank you for attending, and I want to say now that I wish you a happy new year, and may 2021 be much more better than 2020. So have a nice day.